Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build some Lego and then start a model kit. And of course, I'm here to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, you can reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. And if you just want to be a lurker and you don't want to say shit, you can just do that and be cool. It is totally okay to lurk and just hang out. Ghost Valve is here. Hello, Ghost Valve. Welcome, welcome. It's Saturday. It's not hot in this room. That's my update from Thursday's stream. If you watched on Thursday or checked out the VOD later, you will know that I was sweating a lot in this room and it sucked. And I can report it is not doing that because the temperature dropped about 15 degrees between now and then. And it's been a rainy, dreary day. And it's a different kind of shitty. One that I'm actually better for on two counts. One, it's not hot. I can put a hoodie on. There's only so many layers of clothing you can take off before it is inappropriate for streaming. And two, I mean, hopefully a lot of the pollen gets washed away by the rain. That would be wonderful. And back to the first point about how, layers and all that. I'm not trying to run a kick.com stream over here, okay? I am not on Kick. I am on Kick, but so that someone else doesn't use my username. But I am not on Kick to stream. I will not be streaming on kick.com, a website that is owned by a couple people that started up a NFT, not NFT, crypto casino. And the most popular streams there are gambling streams. And then also fairly popular over there, young ladies of indeterminate age wearing very little, just kind of hanging out. Hey, Lashbrook, welcome. Kick is the pools and hot tubs category is pretty stacked over there on kick.com. And also, a couple people that I like and respect are on there. And I think it's because if you make partner, apparently the cut is 95.5, which seems like a fucking scam. I feel like they're not actually going to approve anyone for partner. They just stole everything, all the categories, the affiliate / partner, and they just have a better partner split than Twitch does. But every other part of that seems awful and not cool. So I would say don't. But yeah, a couple people I know are on Kick, and it seems like a bad idea. So every once in a while I go over and check over there, see what's going on. But mostly I have an account there, which I'll never use for streaming, but it's there just so that someone else doesn't get Pat Baer and use it for nefarious purposes to pretend to be me. I guess, I don't know. When there's a new thing, I try to get my username. I didn't do it with Instagram, and I've regretted it ever since. Tonight's agenda, the Panda 3-in-1. We built the Panda because that was the actual physical instructions that came with the kit. The other PDFs I defined on the internet, and Lego did not make it easy for me to find them, but I did find the instructions for the whale and for the penguin. So we'll complete those kits, and then we're going to start the Delta High Grade, a mobile suit, a Gundam that I have been told has a cool transformation, that its flight mode actually looks cool and is not a pain in the ass. We won't know that for a while, but that is good information that was shared with me. So I'm happy about that. I feel like tonight might be pretty low-key, might be pretty chill. I don't know what people got going on. It's spring, and I guess in other parts of the country it might be nice, but not right here. So we might just have a chill evening, and which is a shame because I have so much fucking anime to talk to you about in the second hour. Holy shit, I got a lot of anime to chat with you all about. I started 3 new shows, and then I have episode 2 of one show. And I tweeted about this, so but I feel like I can say it. I made the decision that maybe just for tonight, I don't know, maybe going forward we're going to do this, but um, instead of a recap of Otaku Elf, Too Cute Crisis, and MASHLE, Magic and Muscles, I am going to give you a overview, like a review instead of a recap. Let's go to the overhead. Um, I think that works better to do a recap or to do a review instead of recap. I'm gonna review a recap, I should say, my love story with Yamada-kun at level 999, because then we're in episode 2 of that. But the other episodes or the other shows, I'm just gonna be like, this is what I thought of the episode instead of giving you the play-by-play, because I think that'll be better. Anyway, in order to build this whale, because we're going to start with the whale, as you can see in the photo. I have an iPad Mini. This iPad Mini, apps do not work on. This is the first incarnation of the iPad Mini, so it is very, very old. Several apps no longer work for it. I don't think I can watch YouTube videos on here anymore in the YouTube app, but many book reader apps work for this, so I can read my mangas if I want to sit like on the porch or in the living room. I can use some software to sell items, so that's helpful. And I can open PDFs in Firefox, and I can build a couple model kit or a couple Lego sets. So that's what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to build a Lego set here. Wait, how many steps are we? Just 25 steps to build this whale, so not too bad. So I am going to be using this. Wow, it really darkens my light there. I don't know why that happened, but whatever. This is not as nice as having printed instructions. I almost printed this out, but I was like, that's such a waste. And if I did it in black and white, that's a waste. And if I did it in color, that's just a waste of time. I could put it up here on one of my monitors, but this felt like the best way to do it. Because it's just easier than having to get the mouse and move things around and all that. So I didn't. I hate that this is an active part of my streams these days, but I must give you a Twitter update. One, I have seen evidence that a few people have had their check marks removed, which was not supposed to be an actual thing that was going to happen. They supposedly changed that. But apparently some people have gotten their check marks removed. My check mark still exists. I am still verified on Twitter without paying any money. I'm old verified, not new verified. So that's fun. There are two things I should say. The first one is Doge is gone. The Doge image that was just there for some terrible reason, that's gone. Apparently something changed somewhere, and the Doge is been removed, so that's nice. And then also, the other thing that's been removed is an easy way to advertise your Substack. If you have a Substack newsletter and you wanted to promote that on Twitter, they don't want you to do that. If you want to like a tweet that has a direct link, they do not want you to do that. If you want to engage in any way with someone who is promoting their Substack, you cannot. Now you're like, Pat, why the fuck would Twitter care about Substack? Well, because they're going to start implementing a tweet-like function where you can send short messages out. And then if you're following a bunch of people and you're subscribed to a bunch of Substacks, you can then have a curated Twitter. Now, apparently, this is also prevented search for that, but not just the links to Substack. If that link includes the word newsletter, some, not all, but some other people who are like, hey, check out my newsletter on Washington Post or other places. So it is affecting more than just Substack, but it is directly affecting Substack. And you're like, Pat, this seems, even for Elon Musk, to be completely sad. And I to that I would say yes. It's a really really childish like tantrum. And then he accused someone. The Cosmic Fly says Elon Musk being sad, never, indeed. And then he accused somebody that had brought this to people's attention, saying like, "Hey, I'm definitely moving to Substack. I'm out of here. Please follow me there." Accusing that person of working at Substack, which is just like, no. But you repeat yourself, yes. It's like, no, he doesn't work there. He loved you for a time. He honestly loved you, and then you've turned your back on him. Also, if you want to post a link to Substack, not everyone, but some people were getting the following message. Warning, this link may be unsafe. It's the kind of links people were getting when they were trying to make any kind of link anywhere. They were getting warned about before, because apparently the link you're trying to access is identified by Twitter or our partners as being potentially spammy or unsafe. So on.substack.com has been considered unsafe. Malicious links, spammy links, violent or misleading, certain category of content that is posted directly on Twitter are violation of Twitter rules. To get around that, you can shorten your link, which is, come on, really? That's the workaround, is to shorten the link. That has not been. Also, you can hit ignore the warning and continue, but they do pop up and be like, "Hey, I don't think you should do this." Hey, it is. I mean, it's just like a symptom of a larger problem, which is that like the man does not have an understanding of how businesses run, cannot make it work, and is therefore really fucking it up for himself. Someone on Twitter, Christine Love, I believe, was the person that did this. Somebody was just like, "Hey, follow me on this other website now, because in 2 years when I finish my next game, this place won't exist." So, which is like, yeah. Hen Arcade is following. Thank you, Hen Arcade. Appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. We are working on a Lego set, the 3-in-1 Panda. 3-in-1 kits. We built the Panda already, but the instructions for the whale, which we're working on now, and the penguin were not included because it was a little bag that just had the Panda instructions, and you have to go online to do the other two, which is fine. So I'm using my iPad mini here, and yeah. Someday I have thought about getting a big old regular old iPad, but for now this thing has been fine. Again, it's old, so like some apps don't work on it anymore, which is frustrating. But plenty of them that I want to use do, so it's still good enough. It's good enough as a reader. And if I have to like not sideload, but if I have to like load on PDFs on here to read, I will do that. I'll always have Wi-Fi on this, so I can always just go to sites instead of using an app that doesn't load anymore. I can just use it through Firefox or Chrome. So like, it's still serving its purpose, which is to have a lightweight device for reading manga. So I don't have to bring my laptop out if I want to sit in the patio, or if I want to sit in the front yard, like in the driveway, and read and get some sun. It is nice for that. Short flights. My iPad, loading up videos on this iPad mini for short flights rules. My current laptop is a lightweight laptop, but my previous laptop before that was a big, bulky, heavy-ass laptop. It was a gaming laptop, and it was very annoying to get that out of my bag, and like it didn't really fit on like. The thing about, pulling a laptop out when you're on a flight is you have to, it has to fit on the tray table. And then what if you get like a water and like, or a soda and a snack? Then you have to like juggle them around. This iPad mini is really easy to just be like, I can just have it on my lap, or it'll just like, whatever. I got the little foldy things, just put them there. It is great for like that. Also, it does have a headphone jack or Bluetooth. So, because I have run into that problem of, oh, wait, I don't have regular headphones anymore, but I do have Bluetooth headphones and it'll work. So I can always do that. That basically saves this device. Eventually, all the apps I want to use will no longer work on this device, and it will be sad. But for now, it works. And again, I'm not using it that often. Mostly when I want to read outside, and I don't want to take my laptop. Sometimes you don't want to. Other things to chat about with you tonight. A little bit of wrestling. Not a lot of wrestling. There's been a lot of wrestling chat on here around WrestleMania and all of the indie shows, the WrestleCon shows. So it makes sense. There was late last night into early this morning, there was a Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling show, which I did not watch live. Have not seen it yet. I'll be watching it tomorrow evening. It's one of their house shows, so it's not like a full crew, including some of the fact that some of the main crew are still traveling. They're still in America, and a few others got sick. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but a few of them came back not feeling well, and so they're not competing. But it's a small show. I'll watch that tomorrow night with some friends, which is the best way to watch wrestling, is with people. And the second best way to watch wrestling is live tweeting it and just being upset. Triple H made a big announcement during SmackDown. A big announcement. Which was, of course, that the draft is coming back soon. Doesn't matter. Who cares? I don't care about the draft. They don't adhere to the draft well anyway. All the draft means is maybe someone I like from Raw will come to SmackDown, the show I watch more than I watch Raw. And maybe some wrestlers I like on SmackDown will go to Raw. And I won't see them as much, which would be a bummer. Because I know for a fact, I don't know this, but I know that the wrestlers I don't like will stay on SmackDown. So I'll have to see Lacey Evans on SmackDown. We won't lose Lacey. We won't lose, they're not really on TV that much anyway, but the Viking Raiders won't go to Raw, probably, because I don't want to see them. And instead, Gunther will go to Raw, and we'll get Austin Theory. That's going to be the trade. And I don't hate Austin Theory, but I don't want to not see Gunther have great matches because Gunther fucking rules. But it'll be that kind of thing. Maybe we'll get Alpha Academy. That would kick ass. Even just, Chad Gable. Just give me some good Chad Gable matches. I'd be A-okay with that shit. Other things about wrestling to talk about here. A match has been announced for next Wednesday's Dynamite that makes me excited. Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli are facing Brian Cutler and Michael Nakazawa. And that's going to be the idea that Cutler gave a good rah-rah speech and had a good moment on Rampage. And they're going to get their asses kicked and get beat up. He basically said, and this is a promo, but he basically was I got beat up a lot, but I've dealt with bullies before. And the guys that used to save me from the bullies aren't here now because they were beaten up by the bullies. So I guess we got to take on the bullies. And they're going to get beat the fuck up. And that's going to be entertaining and sad. And I hope they get a little bit of offense in, but I don't think they will. But it's still you know what? Hey, Brian Cutler and Nakazawa are going to be in a match on Dynamite, and that's cool. And I'm into that. Whoops. Other things from Dynamite / Battle of the Belts. Sky Blue is all elite. Finally, she's probably been signed for a while, but she's now officially signed. She's kayfabe signed. She works hard. That's great. Happy for her. Hope hope it goes well for her. Lasper says it's nice that Cutler can take off the face mask because I'm sure it's been a gimmick for a while now. Yes, that face mask just became part of his deal. I don't think he needs it. So yes, one would hope that now maybe he can transition to not needing it anymore, or he gets beat up so much by Moxley and Claudio that he needs it again for real this time, which is also be funny. Swerve Strickland had cut a promo saying that he's all alone right now. He has two dudes in Mogul affiliates, but those two dudes are both injured. He didn't say that, but they both injured. Trench and Parker Boudreaux are both on the injured list right now. So he said that he had made he'd made a partnership, and we'd find out later who that is. Turns out it's the Embassy. And that means, once again, Prince Nana has a reason to be around. What do you mean injured? Dustin clearly killed Tretch. Yeah. I love the idea of the manager of the Embassy, Prince Nana, working with Swerve Strickland, which means that Brian Cage has even less of a reason to talk, which is his worst feature. Brian Cage is now can be a scary big white dude hanging out with Swerve. That's good. We like that. There are, in my opinion, no downsides to this. This is a great nonsense association. Prince Nana is a great manager. This is all good stuff. It's all good. Instead of bringing in, could they brought in new talent? Sure, they definitely could have, but that would have been temporary and weird. This way, it's just a partnership. I think that's great. Orange Cassidy had a great match last night. He will have a great match coming up soon against Buddy Matthews. I think that's going to be real good. Hey. The main event of Rampage, an AEW show, had a main event with women in it, and it wasn't for a title. It was a non-title main event match. That's bonkers. Julia Hart just getting Anna Jay, always been pretty damn good to great. Julia Hart making lots of advances in the great category. That was a solid match, very enjoyable. And it's cool that main evented Rampage. It was fucking neat. I don't know. Lashbrook, do you have any thoughts from Rampage Battle of the Belts? I am of the opinion that QTV is not good, but it is fine. We finished up with this. I got to take a photo of this, and then we'll take it apart here. I don't think that QTV, the TMZ knockoff segment, is very good. But I also don't think that it is terrible, and I don't think that it's worse than the Book of Hobbs. For those unfamiliar, the Book of Hobbs was a video package, a bunch of vignettes that Powerhouse Hobbs had, where he was talking about his upbringing, and it was a lot of it was black and white, and he's like, "You're not ready for this," and it was cool as hell. And then he showed up after all those vignettes. And he had a physical book that he carried around, and he propped up in the corner. And then when he beat someone, he demanded the referee go and get his book. It wasn't a book that the next chapter. He didn't write it. It wasn't a fucking death note. It could have been a death note, and I would have liked it more if it was a death note. It wasn't a death note. It was just a physical, actual fucking book. So you know what? Hang out with QT Marshall is better than the Book of Hobbs. So it's an upgrade. Lasper says, it has destroyed any interest I have in Hobbs. I just look at my phone during those bits. So the Book of Hobbs stuff I thought was garbage. This is at least something. This is something, and then Hobbs can go and beat up people. So I'll appreciate that. Lasper says I haven't seen her singles entrance. Oh, this is, yeah, Julia Hart. Yes. Julia Hart's singles entrance rules. Hey, I'll say this. Lashbrook, check out this upcoming Dark Elevation. There's some Joshi in there. The taping the other day sounded really fucking good. Check out AEW's page for that. Obviously, you don't have to watch it live. It's just on there. But check out this upcoming Dark Elevation. It'll be Monday show. Because I'm hearing that it was a lot of fucking banger matches. All right, so we have to disassemble this. Then we can move on to the Penguin, which will be the last of this. So we'll just use that. But yeah, Julia Hart does the singing along with her entrance thing, which is very good. And just being all spooky and cool and having a good time. Julia Hart saying, "Don't." One of the like rules of the House of Black is that you don't touch my hat. And I was like, no, that's somebody else's gimmick. That's gimmick infringement. Gonna pull in gimmick infringement on you. Can't do that. But yeah, I thought the match was good. JR made it bad. JR will do that. JR will make things. JR made that match worse and made Jade versus Billy Starks worse. I would love him to stop. That's it. That's my opinion. I would love for good old JR, Jim Ross, to stop being an announcer on AEW. There are now so many incredibly talented between Ring of Honor and AEW. They have 5 excellent commentators. They have 5 commentators who kick ass. And then they also have Paul White, who does an okay, serviceable job, and Daddy Magic, who's not ready to retire and be a full-time commentator, but he's good at being a color commentator. They also have Mark Henry, who is good at it, who doesn't do it. And they have Nigel McGuinness. Yes. They just added Nigel McGuinness, who I don't love as a commentator, but he's fine. People like Nigel more than I like Nigel as a commentator because he is an old school heel commentator, and I feel like that is unnecessary in this day and age. You could have your opinions, but the rah-rah, I only like heels. The only time I like the rules is when luchadors are breaking them that I don't like in kayfabe, so I will be a rule stickler. I was just like, I'm just not interested in that. I'm not interested in Nigel McGuinness as an announcer, but I know other people really like him. But if that's what it takes to get JR out of the booth, is Nigel in the booth? Sure. But yes, he made both those matches worse. And that's frustrating for me. Billy Starks had a good showing. There were a few botched spots. They didn't mesh super well. I don't think that Billy has, like, Jade is still green, and Billy is not ready to call Matt to, like, be a leader in the ring. And so it was, like, a little rough. She's also young, so I'm not mad about it. But yeah, overall, still enjoyable of a thing. I'm going to get my brick separator here, see if I can separate these parts. This is the trick I always do. So I like to put them on something that's easier for me to get a wedge in there. And then I'll just pry these off. Nice and easy. And then I can pry off the part that I put in there. And that's it. That makes this thing is so much better than, as I've said before, my old method as a young person, which was using a butter knife to remove parts. That didn't work as well. I don't know if there's any other wrestle talk. Yeah, because I guess some Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling stuff. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything that I'm like, I really want to. I'm interested in finding out more about this. I feel like the LWO being back and not being a one-off for Rey's retirement, the Legado del Fantasma and Rey Mysterio are the LWO, is a thing that I think is fun. I appreciate that, and I think that is a cool choice. But I don't know. I'm like, I don't know about that. I don't fully know about that. Also, it is not my place to say, but I do think it is weird that a member of Legado del Fantasma and now a member of the Latino World Order is Filipino. That's odd to me. A guy whose shoot name is Michael Paris is now in the is in the Latino World Order. And that is an odd thing to know. All right. Put that there. All right, I've now part separated everything. Now we can start working on a penguin. And I think I have run out of... I have anime in the second hour to talk about here. I recorded a new video that'll be out on Monday for Pat Baer's Anime Club. $5 and $10 patrons will be able to see that tomorrow. This one was a little different. I tweeted about it. This is my first time for a Pat Baer's Anime Club video, including the use of a spreadsheet, because that was the easiest way to have information be presented for what I'm doing there. I have Nathan says, as a Northern Californian Latino, I'm cool with it. Nathan, as I said, it is weird to me. I don't think that it is like a deal breaker. But it always has struck me as struck me as odd in Legado del Fantasma, struck me as odd in Latino World Order, the LWO. But again, it is not my place to say he should not be in there. That someone of Filipino descent should not be included. Again, that's not my spot to say. Yeah, I recorded a video today. Happy with it turned out. I have a bunch of ideas for Pat Baer's Anime Club, because it's always good to have new ideas. But I decided instead of using one of the ones that I had planned to do, the thought entered my mind with the, and I won't go into the details of the video, but with the announcement of the Scott Pilgrim anime, to which I saw some people say that it can't be an anime, because Scott Pilgrim is a Canadian product. So therefore, the source material is not Japanese, so therefore it can't be an anime. And I was like, well, it's being made by Science Saru, but the native language of the piece is going to be in English. But it's made by Science Saru, a Japanese studio. And I was like, but anime is just a Japanese word for animation. So Pixar and Disney are anime. But that's like lowercase anime. Lowercase a anime. Like some people say, no, anime is like Athena is not a Joshi wrestler. She's not Joshi. Because Joshi, even though that just means lady wrestler, when you say that, you have a vision in your head of a particular style of wrestling. And it's like, ugh. And when you start getting into that territory, then you start getting into is that appropriation? Is that weird otaku, American, otaku brain of being no, I don't read comic books. I read manga. And it's like, well, have you read Radiant? Because that's French manga. Or Manfra, which is its own weird bunch of bullshit gatekeepiness. If it's made in France, it can't be manga. And it's like, well, they made an anime about Radiant and they call it a shonen. So, eh. A lot of shit like that. I tried to have fun with it in the video that's going up on Monday, but some people, I am sure, I don't think this is going to be like my most controversial Pat Bear's Anime Club video. I don't think I've actually had one that's controversial. But I could see some people being unhappy uh, with like my classifications of it. But basically, I made a video where I talk about various anime and decide, or pieces of animation, I should say, and decide if they're anime or not. Video is going to go up on Monday. My $5 and $10 patrons will get it tomorrow. But let's see. Let's take a look at some news. Let's see if there's any news out there. This is my my go-to, folks. Sometimes when it's like, all right, well, nothing really happened to me this weekend, and I don't have much rants in me. Let me see what's going on in the entertainment. I did not see the Mario movie. If you had a good time, if you went to the Mario movie and you had a good time, hell yeah. If you had a bad time, I'm sorry. If you won't shut up about how much you didn't like the movie, I will mute you on Twitter. This is not a subtweet. This is not a call-out post. I'm just letting you know there are 3 people that I'm giving a few days to see if they will shut the fuck up about not liking a movie that just came out. Because, like, if you didn't like it, if you're disappointed, if you hated it, that sucks. I wish you would like the movie. Or I wish the movie was better. I don't know what to tell you. But if, like, your instinct is, well, this movie that people seem to like sucks, so I guess I won't. That's going to be my whole personality from now on. Like, we're good. I'm going to put you on mute for a little bit. We'll come back, check in on you later. We'll see. Maybe this person will pop back in. I've heard enough stuff about it. I feel like I've seen it. I mean, yeah. I mean, like, I've heard people enjoyed it. I've heard people didn't enjoy it. I think that's fucking fine. I hope that there are. I hope that there are. You know, that people get more enjoyment out of it in the future. I guess. I don't fucking know. It's making fucking money. It's making a whole lot of money, which is not obviously a qualifier on quality, and making a bunch of money is not my attempt to justify telling critics to shut the fuck up. I'm not here to do that. I think everyone can have an opinion on things. Like, somebody asked me, like, oh, what are you liking this season? And I listed like 4 things, and they were like, none of that interests me. I'm really excited about, and they listed a show that like immediately, that Hell's something or other. Hell's Paradise, I can't remember what it is. It's a like death game anime. And I'm like, there's no way. Like, if it's great, if it's brilliant, and people I think that I highly respect are like, this is the show of the season, then I might check it out. But for me, I was just like, oh, okay, you're not interested in anything that I suggested, and you are really interested in a thing that I have no interest in. Okay, sure. Like, and I think that's fine. I think that's totally okay for both of us to be like into the things we're into. I watched some of an anime today that looked terrible. That it just looked awful, and I think some of the voice casting choices were really weird, and the flow was bad, and I was just like, oh, I'm not going to keep watching this. It's an isekai. I like watching isekai. I actually think right now I am only watching let's see, I'm going to look here. 1, well, I'll have 2. So I'm only watching weekly and talking about it here 3 isekai now, um, which is still a lot, but there's a lot of isekai this season. Maybe 4. We'll talk about it later if we're going to argue that Otaku Elf, if that's an isekai or not. If it's an isekai or an reverse isekai. I like to think it's an isekai because I don't think that different worlds means different from Japan. I think it means different from the world you came from, which would make isekai or Otaku Elf an isekai because the main character is an elf brought to Japan. But anyway, there was one I was watching today, and I was like, oh, you know what? Fuck this. I don't want to watch this anymore. This is not enjoyable for me. And so I let it go. And I think that's okay. I'm not going to write about it and trounce it. I'm not going to be like, hey, I don't think anyone should watch this. No. We're good. It's Summoned to Another World Again is the one. Or Summoned to Another World for a Second Time, I think it's called. It just didn't do anything for me, and maybe just be like, I'm good. All right, let's keep working on this penguin. There was a lot of announcements at the Star Wars celebration. Star Wars TV stuff is not really my jam right now. It's not something that I'm super invested in, so I have not been paying attention. But I'm going to click on this link. This is Kotaku's 6 biggest announcements from Star Wars Celebration so far. We'll see if there's anything in here. Then I'm like, okay, let's see what they got here. New Star Wars film set after the sequel trilogy starring Daisy Ridley. Cool. If you didn't think they were going to make new Star Wars movies, I don't know why you would think that. They're going to make more Star Wars movies. Daisy Ridley starring, that sounds good. There's going to be 2 more films besides that. So there's 3 more coming out. That seems like a lot. Despite Rosario Dawson, I'm interested in Rebels 2. Shoka. Yeah. I like Rosario Dawson. I think that's a good ad. I think Rosario Dawson is a great actress. She says yes to projects. She probably shouldn't. But I think she's a good actress. Yeah, so there's 3 Star Wars movies coming, which feels like too many Star Wars movies. Yeah, we have the Ahsoka series. And yeah, Rosario Dawson starring in that. I think that's fine. And then Star Wars Acolyte, which is not posted online. And the end of the High Republic era, about 100 years before Episode 1. And it's exploring the dark side of the Force. Okay, it's like, all right. Also, apparently, in Star Wars Acolyte, there's gonna be a Wookiee Jedi. And that is the most interesting thing told to me about anything Star Wars related. Hey, Lord Cratchington, welcome. Happy to have you here. We finished a whale, and now we're building a penguin. But the idea of a Wookiee Jedi, yeah, I'm on board. Sure. You know what? Yes. Yes, please. That sounds rad. That sounds like something I'm interested in. And then more Andor coming. People really like Andor. I haven't seen it. And then Jude Law is in something called Star Wars Skeleton Crew. Yeah. Jude Law is going to be into Star Wars, and that sounds cool. Lots of if you like Star Wars, yes, Disney Plus. That's your jam. But yeah, I'm someday I'll get Disney Plus and I'll get caught up on all those Star Wars that I'm way behind in. I don't know when that'll happen, but it will happen someday. All right. Our penguin has happy feet right now, so it can dance around. Now we're going to give it some flippers here. There's some microtransactions coming to Resident Evil, but that's DLC stuff, so that's cool. The guy that made the multiplayer mod for Breath of the Wild got his YouTube videos, some of them demonetized, because not to prevent the mod, but to prevent him from making some money on YouTube showcasing that mod, which is not outside of the realm of stuff that could happen, but is a bummer. It is not a surprising move from Nintendo, but it is not a cool move from Nintendo. I don't necessarily think they're wrong. I just think that it sucks. Put it out there. Nintendo is not a supporter of fans making their own fun. Yes. I mean, make your own fun, but don't try to profit off your own fun. And if you're saying, well, Pat, he's not selling the mod. No, but he is making money off of the mod. Him making whatever little advertising money he could make through AdSense. So technically, broadest definition of it, he is making money off of that. And they don't like that. Let's see. Hey, Dying Light. The first Dying Light is $0 until the 13th. Where's that going to be? Let's see. On Epic. So if you never played Dying Light and you have an interest in checking out the original Dying Light, you can get it for free until the 13th on Epic. So I would say the Epic Game Store. Maybe you want to do that. Also, please do your own research. Look up the folks that are under the Epic banner that are currently looking at Bandcamp, looking to unionize. Please support unionization and union efforts. You might be surprised to know that Epic does not want that to be a union. Weird, right? Let's see. Other news, things we can talk about here. Come on. There we go. Let's see. This makes me laugh because who cares about it, but it's fine. You know the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog? That's one of the it's one of the best reviewed Sonic games of all time. Yes, Sonic games came out before there were lots of user reviews that were easily identifiable and cataloged and on the internet. Yes, it's a free game, and also it is funny to leave a good review for a free game. All of those things are true. But it also is very funny that the dating sim murder mystery game, the visual novel, not dating sim, visual novel murder mystery game is one of the highest ranking Sonic games of all time. That is funny to me. Your friend Pat finds that very funny. Let's see. The other free game, says Lord Gratchton, on Epic Game Store is a very Vinny game, very Vinny Caravella game called Shapes with Z. That's Shape Z. Factory automation game. Okay, yeah, that sounds like a Vinny-ass Vinny game and not a Pat Baer game. Terranil, I've watched multiple people play Terranil. I think Terranil, the reverse city builder, looks fucking rad. Am I going to be playing that video game? Absolutely not. That is not a Pat Baer video game. I am not interested in that. I like my Japanese RPGs. I like my Western RPGs. Hell, I even like my Euro RPGs. Not as much. Depends on the RPG. But yeah, I like them all. I like my RPGs. I like some tactics games, but not all tactics games. I like puzzle games. A little shooter here and there, especially RPGs that have some shooting in it. I think that's fine. But I will say, I don't particularly have ever really enjoyed city builders. Just not my jam. City builders not really my thing. Like automated, like automation type style games, survival games like that. I definitely do not like survival games. I do not like craft like there's only so many items here, and like the cold's coming in 3 days. Like that's just not my jam. That's just not my thing. I don't like those like resource light, kind of mechanics. That is just not my thing. I do like this penguin though. Hey, here's a penguin. I made a penguin out of Lego. It's pretty easy. Bunch of pieces left over. I'm gonna take a photo of this little pengy. Is this better than the Christmas penguin that I built at Christmas? No, because that one had a Christmas tree and presents, and so it was superior. Sorry, got do. Yeah, photo. Oh, I never switched. I had a photo of the. Damn it! I had a penguin photo all loaded up here. I forgot to change it. Penguin photo taken. I can't believe it, everybody. I had this penguin here whole time. I am not going to break this down now. I'm going to show it to my mother, who loves penguins. She absolutely adores the fine fowls. So I'm going to show my mom this little penguin that I made. The Christmas. Actually, I'll say this. I never disassembled that Christmas penguin that is now part of my mother's Christmas decorations, which I think is lovely. She really liked it, so she might like this too. I don't think she'll like it. She'll want to save it. This little penguin. I also. You're right. You didn't even write it in chat. I got it there before you could. I gotta do the happy feet. Gotta move this penguin around. Move this penguin up and down. Move it about. Great. That was important for me to do, and I did it. I got some extra pieces here. I'm going to shove those aside. I will take care of those later. I will null those. Or not null. I will separate those and put them in my box that is going out in the mail, because I do recycle my Legos by sending them to Lego Replay, where they are cleaned and categorized and then sent out to kids that would like to have Lego. And it's a great service. I just bring it to a UPS or a FedEx. I can't remember which. They change from one to the other, and I don't remember. But yeah, go to Lego Replay, print out a label, stick it on a box, mail out a bunch of Lego. A+. I'm sure it's a nod to the honking penguin from the one ranked best animated Christmas movie. Oh yes, that Christmas penguin there is definitely kind of a nod to that. All right, now we don't need this penguin anymore, but I gotta do this. Get rid of that whale. Hey, it's the Delta Plus. We're moving on. We're starting up. We'll take a pause for the cause in a moment or two. Talk about ways you can support the channel, all of that nonsense. I'm gonna move my water from one spot to the other because I'm readjusting where I have things. That's fine. Trickle of water in it now. This is a model kit from the year 2010. It looks rad. It is Gundarium alloy, so this is technically a Gundam. It is for a Mobile Suit Unicorn. It is a prototype mobile suit. I have been told that this flight mode kicks ass. And the way that it is constructed is not a pain in the butt and is indeed cool. It will take a while to do, but basically you have a frame of the flight mode, and then you build components of the kit. You take parts off the kit and put them on the flight mode. So instead of just it like laying down and then the shield going on its head to be the cockpit, instead you have a base It's a little similar to the exterior armor in like Build Divers. Let me see if I can find the base part here where it goes. So the armor. Here it is. So basically, this part, a bunch of the components of the mobile suit go on it into a new ship, basically. So that's how it gets away with having a quote-unquote cool flight mode, I have been told. Again, this is a model kit from the year 2010. It comes with too many polycaps. I will have this is a 2008 polycap release. I certainly will have some of these left over, I'm sure. I won't be using all of them. But yeah, I don't remember when I got this kit, but it was a while ago. It looked cool, and I'm happy to finally be able to put it together. I love a mobile suit that also looks like it might be a Decepticon. That is cool for your friend Pat. Fucking really digs that shit. That's just very fun and makes me very happy when we have that. When you have a mobile suit there that like just looks like it may or may not be ready to turn on Megatron. It's like, that sounds great to me. We're gonna go back to here. We're gonna take a pause for the cause in a moment. I'm actually gonna start by tweeting out. See if we can get a few more friends to join us tonight, because it's been a little light this evening, which is okay. Totally all right. We did get a retweet from Jeff, which is very kind of Mr. Kurtzman. I'm going to reply to this and say, okay, taking a tiny break, and then starting the Delta Plus HG, a kit from 2010. So we're gonna start a 13-year-old model kit. Let's see, Harold's here. Hey Harold, thanks for throwing in those emotes there. Yes, why don't you follow Harold's lovely example and throw the Barricade, the Lego, the Scythe, and the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, this is the easiest way to let people know, hey, I subscribe to Pat Baer. I give him $5 a month, or I use my Prime token because I have my Amazon Prime linked to my Twitch, like Aristofan with the Tier 2 blue emote, and Dirty and Nathan. Maybe you were gifted a sub by somebody in the community, and maybe you want to pay those subs forward by gifting a sub and joining the gift sub leaderboard. You'd be the only one there. Or you could do some cheer, and you could join the cheer leaderboard along with Harold. That is an option you have. Those are ways to support what I do here. Sometime during this month, we will fall below 40 subscribers, and we'll start putting the goal up to get back up there, because the goal is always 40. We're above 40, so I don't have a goal written anywhere here. That's how that works. Other things I can tell you about. Real quick, Plastic Model Weekender. Just want to remind you that's April 27th through the 30th. I will not be streaming on this channel for the Plastic Model Weekender when my shift is. I cannot tell you the shift yet because we're still confirming the schedules. When I know, you'll know. And if you want to watch that, you just have to go to twitch.tv/Plamo Weekender. I will have a 2-hour shift. The model kits that for this event, I will be building on stream starting pretty soon. I have to kind of figure out when I'm going to start that. My schedule... I need to know when I'm streaming during the event, and then I have to like plan out like 3 streams before that to start building the kit. So that will be probably in like a week and a half. I'll start doing that. So I'm going to be building the kits on stream leading up to it to kind of build interest among you lovely people, and then I will customize those kits on stream. Mr. Bob's here. Hey, Mr. Bob. So yeah, consider jumping in there. I'm going to keep this real brief so we can get into talking about the new anime of the season, and also I can start this model kit. I want to thank everybody who's a subscriber. Thank you if you ever subscribed. Thank you to anyone that might be on my Patreon at patreon.com/PatBaer. There's a $1, $3, $5, and $10 tier there. There are different rewards for different tiers. The Delta tied for the kit I should be working on for my $10 patrons. They voted in a poll. Also, patrons voted on what I should do next Tuesday. Hey, next Tuesday's stream, Jackbox Party Pack 9. We've only done it, I think, twice. So Jackbox Party Pack 9, I might have something to do to kill time waiting for more people to arrive. I haven't made that decision yet. I might make that decision as we get closer. But I will probably have a backup plan if right at 9 o'clock we don't have enough people for a game. But I want to do Jackbox Party Pack 9 then, so check that out. Join me on YouTube if you want to do that. Everything I make through all these monthly sources and direct donations, which I'll put a link in the chat right now, they go to me buying model kits and equipment. The Delta, the thing that I am starting right now, I bought off my Amazon wish list for myself. It was on my wish list for a long time, and then I just bought it. I do have something coming in the mail from that wish list that whenever it arrives, it'll be the next thing that I build. If you would like to jump the queue and not have me build something for my backlog, but instead build the thing that you want me to build, you could buy something from my wish list and then send it to me, and then I'll build it. I got Lego sets and model kits, and some of the model kits are from Witch from Mercury, which we'll talk about on Monday, because that new season is starting up. So we'll have that to talk about. But yeah, I got a bunch of kits here of various prices and shipping requirements and all that. See if there's something there you'd like to see me build on stream. I would be very happy to do it. Or maybe you want to buy a piece of gear or equipment. You could do that as well to make my life a little easier. I got a throne wish list. You can jump in on there. We're going to get back to building in just a minute. Just want to give a couple quick things here. Check out my throne wish list. You also could buy something from USA Gundam, or buy a gift card from USA Gundam store. Send me a DM on Twitter. My DMs are open, or a whisper here on Twitch with that, and I would certainly do that. Let's see. Do I have something here? No. This is somebody is sharing. Yeah. Well, we're gonna go ahead and block this person. Get out of here. Delete conversation. I was checking my DMs on Twitter, and they were somebody advertising an OnlyFans that someone else has. I was like, no, I don't want that. Get out of here. Discord. I got one of those. I got Discord. You could join my Discord. I post build photos. People post stuff they're working on. It is cute and fun. Couple video links for you to check out. Pat Baer's Anime Club. I will have a new Pat Baer's Anime Club up on Monday. If you missed me talking about the end of the winter season and the start of the spring season, which we're in now, here's a video link of that. It's a long video. I recorded it live on stream. And it's me talking for over 2 hours about anime. Baerly Rehearsed is an ongoing video series where I promise that I have done a rehearsal of the character I'm presenting. It's not improv. I have written a piece and then I'm performing it. This one is about someone who is bad at banter. Hey, Rain just subscribed for 7 months saying, think I'm going to get back into painting some Warhammer minis. Need a creative outlet. Well, hell yeah. Thank you so much. Let's throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, and the Scythe emote into chat. Rain, thank you so much. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a painter. That is not my deal. I like using markers and doing panel lining. But for me, doing that kind of work is a fun creative outlet. Building model kits to me is very creative. I know people are way wilder with that shit than I am, but I think that is great. And Warhammer minis are desperate for you to paint them. That's the thing I think is very cool about that. Like, you can build a model kit and you don't need to paint it. You don't need to use markers on it. You can just do it and then put it aside and it'll look good. But minis really want you to paint them. They just need it. So that's awesome. But yeah, check out that Baerly Rehearsed. And then, yeah, I think that's it. Now we're going to talk about... we're going to get into some anime conversations here. Before I get into the anime talk, I require a beverage. So I'm going to drink a little water and we'll dramatically transition to the overhead and then start the Delta Plus. Water. Okay, so I said this at the beginning of the stream. I mentioned it on Twitter. Because I have 4 anime shows to talk about tonight, I am not going to do a recap of the episode for Otaku Elf, 2 Cute Crisis, or MASHLE, Magic and Muscles. But I will do that for the second episode of my love story with Yamada-kun at level 999, because that is a series that I'm really enjoying, and it's the second episode. For all the first episodes, I am going to give you a review instead of a recap. I will try to answer the questions. Do I like it? Do I think you might like it? Do I recommend it? Am I going to keep watching it? How does it look? What's the vibe like? I will try to answer those questions because that seems like the way to go. But we'll start with my love story with Yamada-kun at level 999. This is appears it will try to transition to a romantic comedy style show. Our main character is Akane. In episode 1, we found out that she plays an online RPG, an MMORPG, and she only started playing to spend time with her boyfriend so they had something to do together. Well, he dumped her from someone else he met in the game. And she tried to make herself feel better by going to an event that he would be at so she could look all dolled up and cute and fun, and he would regret his words and deeds and feel bad. He didn't feel bad. He's very much in love with his new girlfriend, and also the only time he was jealous is when she pretended to be dating Yamada, because Yamada is like an aloof but handsome pro gamer that she knows because he's in their guild, but he's also famous on the internet for being good at other video games. But the thing is, he doesn't understand like how to like talk to girls or talk to anyone. I'm not going to diagnose Yamada, but it's very clear that like human interactions and understanding people's emotions is a thing that he is not skilled at or has worked hard at all to try to get skilled at, which very much just seems to be his deal. All right, so I need that. I need some PCs here, some polycaps. So anyway, they ended up going to eat and drink. Yamada did not want to be there. He showed her some kindness in his own way. She appreciated it. She got too drunk, and the episode ended with her waking up at his place and feeling very confused. And we start with episode 2 with her being like, was this a one-night stand? Oh no, I don't remember what happened. And he's like, you got very drunk. You're now in the way. I'm trying to game. Please leave. So she leaves, and she's like, I'm sorry about that. No problem. She's embarrassed. She takes off. She realizes later, oh shit, the necklace that my ex gave me, whose name I can't remember his name. Oh shit. Maybe it's still Yamada's, but I don't know how to contact him because I don't have his contact info. I kind of know where he lives because I was there, but I don't know. I don't know how to get in touch with him. So she's conflicted. She would like that necklace back, but her ex gave it to her, and she's like, oh, do I really want that back? Anyway, she logs into the game and she starts talking to her guild master, Ruri, and kind of complaining about what's going on with her. And then Yamada comes in and he's just like, hey, I want to complain about someone keeps hoarding all these items in the guild community chest. And apparently that was Akane, who was like, oh, I just thought that people could use these items. I thought I was helping. And he's just like, you need to pick the right things. You don't have to just hoard everything. You could be helping people, but this is all junk. You just have to decide what you want, which will make more sense later. But right now, it's just kind of fucking dickish. Anyway, she's mad about it. She has every right to be. Also, Yamada steps. He finds the necklace by stepping on it and breaking it, and so he definitely is just like, oh no. Next day, Akane runs into Yamada after her college courses, and he is talking to a girl, and she is clearly anyone can see she is confessing to him her feelings, and he does not acknowledge that and does not seem to understand. Later, we find out he was unaware. He was just like, I did not know what was happening there. I was rejecting her for taking up a lot of my time, which is harsh, but that is kind of his vibe. He gives her back the broken necklace and apologizes. And in one of the most relatable moments in this entire show, Akane is not prepared to embrace and accept the fact that a symbol of her doomed relationship is now also broken. And she is having a hard time with that. And so she leaves and takes off and crying, and she runs out into the rain because it had started to rain. And Yamada is like, okay, wait, I could probably help here. Like, he actually has the thought, oh, I could help in this moment. So he follows her and hands her an umbrella and is like, you don't have to return this, which is a small gesture. And I think that, like, that is the thing we saw in episode 1 where she had injured her leg and he went to go get her a bandage, where, like, he's not doing things to, like, score points. If he does something like that, it's just because that is, in the moment, what he feels like he should do, and he's not doing it for an obligation. That's just him, which is interesting. And then, in a move that seemed like it was out of nowhere but has some importance, Akane's mom sends a bunch of items that Akane held in her mom's house. And then, so Akane and her friend Momo go through the items, and Momo wants her to throw away everything she's not going to use. Yamada wants to keep a bunch of stuff, but then basically Momo's just like, I mean, you just got to, decide, does this have value to you? And the thing that she decides, the necklace, no longer has any value to her. She does not want the necklace anymore. But the thing that does have value to her is, of course, is the umbrella. And then they finish, and apparently they went and got food and got a little drunk, because they end up at Yamada's. They end up at Yamada's place because she remembers where it is, to return the umbrella and to thank Yamada for helping her out on the 2 occasions. And to thank him for keeping her company. And then they go to leave. Also, Momo immediately hits on Yamada because he's hot. But as they leave, Yamada yells to Akane to log back into the game because the guildmaster, Ruri, is worried about her. Which is the most concern that he has shown. So, is more going to happen with this? Are we going to move in? I mean, the title is My Love Story. Are we like, what's going on here? This is very slow paced. This is obviously only episode 2. And there's not like progress of any kind to speak of with this. But it's beautifully animated. I think the voice actors are all doing a great job. I really want to know more about this would-be couple and seeing their progress and seeing, like what could happen there. I've been very much enjoying it. it is an anime that I would recommend. I would say that if you are looking for a, a romance anime that features adults and not high school or younger kids, then this might be the show for you. That, again, is My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999. And I think that it is a one of the better shows out this season, which has had some bangers already, but this one made me really happy. I'm really enjoying it. I look forward to seeing more. There's a lot of romantic shows this season, and this one is the one that definitely has stood out to me among them. That and Skip and Loafers. Skip and Loafers' first episode was also really good. So for these next 3 shows, I'm just going to give you a review more than a recap, my vibes, maybe call out some moments that I thought really exemplified what's good or bad about it. Otaku Elf is on High Dive. That is a slice of life, a pure fantasy slice of life. It is either an isekai or a reverse isekai. I believe it to be an isekai because I think the definition of different world is a different world from your own. Whereas some people consider different world to be a different world from Japan. So they would consider this a reverse isekai. In my mind, if the main character is in a different world, it's an isekai. So Tenchi Muyo, not an isekai. War on Geminar, about Tenchi's younger brother who goes to a different world, that's an isekai. Because Tenchi's the main character and all the girls come from other worlds, so it's not an isekai. But weirdly enough, Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid is not an isekai because the main character is Miss Kobayashi. It's not Toru. So that's not an isekai. But Devil is a Part-Timer is an isekai because the main character is the devil who is in the in a different world. So in that case, Otaku Elf is an isekai because our main character is a nerdy elf girl. She is an elf. She is in the young age of 61 when she has been summoned to be a goddess. She is mistaken for a goddess, but to regular old humans, she certainly would be considered a goddess. And so she's in an unfamiliar environment, and turns out she has a big old enjoyment when it comes to real nerdy shit. Like manga and action figures and lazing around. And she demands Red Bull as an offering, which is very funny. It's not Red Bull, but it is definitely Red Bull. And yeah, I mean, so there's also a 16-year-old who has just moved to this area to work in the shrine. Elda's name of the elf. Did I write down? Koito. So the shrine maiden Koito, who is, at first glance, she is the character that is meant to be there to be annoyed with our elf and to want our elf to be proper and to be like the straight-laced character, right? That is like frustrated with the antics of our weird elf, right? But also, there's something about her that I was like, oh, this character already, even in one episode, has some stuff going on that might be interesting. Because she's not just annoyed, she also is like, has all these, she's a 16-year-old that has like, she's saving up money to buy like an aspirational Chanel purse. Because that's like her ideal is she's going to one day be the kind of adult woman that carries around a Chanel bag. Like she has all these ideas of like what it means to be an adult. And it'll be interesting to see her interactions with a childish 61-year-old elf and how that may change things for her. So in this first episode, we did not get much beyond the premise. This episode was really to set up, hey, this is what the show is going to be about. If you're not interested, maybe you want to move on. I'm interested. It's relaxing. It's pretty enjoyable. The animation is fine. It's not outstanding, but it doesn't need to be for this. Um, uh, but yeah, I want to see if Koito ends up getting fleshed out even more, and if she's not just there to be the person that goes no or what or why did you do this, and instead has some sort of character traits that could be nice, like a story would have some character stuff going on. That could be interesting. But again, I enjoy the premise, and that is Otaku Elf. Pretty good. I'm gonna drink a little water here. Give me a second. We finished the chest. It's time to move on to the head. We've got all of the stickers are on the head. It looks like so many goddamn stickers. Because obviously we've got the cameras in the front and back, and then they wrote down like a ton of stickers here, and I don't know if that means like use this one and this one or that one. I can't read it. So I'm going to get the parts out and then we'll take a look. My assumption is, okay, so it's two different colors, and I guess they give an explanation about what those colors could be, which I can't read, so I can't. Oh, yeah, so there's three different eyes. There's a red, a blue, and then a silver. So I can do any of those colors. If you have a suggestion, a preference of, and I'll pull out what the head color is here. Our head is going to be, okay, so it's going to be clear there, and clear piece here, and then 11 is gray. So if you have a preference for what you like, what you think this should be there, these three colors, note that the other parts here are going to be dark gray, and then I've got this like teal here that are the cameras. The cameras are teal. So if you have a preference for what you think the eye should be, if you think it should be blue, if you think it should be silver, if you think it's red, I would love to hear from you in chat right now and let me know if you have a preference for our eye color for our model kit here. Let me know. The clear is going to go on top of it. And over it, yeah. I believe, yeah. So yeah, if you have a preference, because that's going to go, and then I'm going to put clear over it. I mean, I'm leaning towards the red just because this kit is blue. So Delta, I don't remember what the Delta is. That's a great question. Lord Crashington. So let me look up the Delta Plus. Delta, not Delta Airlines, Delta Plus. Oh, no, plus 8 Gundam, the Delta Plus Gundam. The Gundam Wiki here says it's from Unicorn. Yes, Lashbrook, I did know that. In this photo, it does have red eyes, which is what I was leaning to because the blue is very similar to the armor, and the red would look evil. This is from the novel and OVA Mobile Suit Gundam. This is a Gundam. This is the Delta Gundam. It's got the colors here, so you would say, oh, it's prototype. So you might not. It doesn't really have that like, oh, this is a Gundam kind of vibe with its colors. It's from the asshole blonde pilot dude who helped Minerva. Okay, yes. He pilots the Banshee. All right, so we're doing red eyes then. Yes, we're definitely going to do red eyes for this. I think that fits there. Yeah, Lord Crescent, I agree. Looking it up a little bit, yeah. So we're going to put a sticker on here and then the clear piece over it. And then we'll add, and there's also, again, the camera, the back and rear camera colors have to go on there as well. But let's get our first sticker of the kit. And if it looks bad later, I can take the head apart, I guess, and swap this out. But I do like the idea that they offered the silver. I think the silver is cool. But Let's go with red. And we'll need these for the other cameras. So, all right. So, the next anime we are going to talk about is Too Cute Crisis. This is also on High Dive. The only shows right now that I'm watching on High Dive happen to be both, my Friday, Saturday shows. And they are both slice of lives about somebody who is not native to Earth. This also could be considered isekai because it's about an alien on Earth. So I would say it counts. The reason why I think I'm not doing a conversation about isekais of like Pat talks about every isekai of the season is because I think that Otaku Elf and Too Cute Crisis are isekai, but that's my definition of it. Anyway, Too Cute Crisis is about Lisa Luna. She is an alien that has been sent to Earth on a mission of exploration to determine if Earth is a planet worth saving or if it should be destroyed, which is bad for Earth, I guess. Okay, so it's behind there. You can kind of see it there. I think that was pretty neat. So yeah, that is what's happening right now. That is the premise of this story. She comes to Earth to decide if she is going to decide that it should be destroyed or not. And she's mostly like, it's really primitive to society in general. There's a lot going wrong with the place. You know what I like? I like this cafe I just walked into. What are all these creatures? What is all this? She went to a cat cafe. And she has learned what cats are. And is immediately just thinks they're adorable. And has a lot of nonsense reactions. Like over-the-top nonsense reactions. Is it like The Day the Earth Stood Still as an anime? No, Lord Crashing. It's like, you know that vibe when you see something that's really, really cute? And you see like someone shares like a photo on Instagram of an animal and you've never seen that animal before. And you're like, hey, why did nobody fucking tell me about this? That's the vibe. This girl is just, this alien has been introduced to the coolest shit imaginable, which is incredibly cute, likable cats at a cat cafe. And then she also meets a golden retriever in the same episode, and is just like, dogs? I mean, yes, I'm on board. And so she's like, the thing I like is she's like trying to postpone like the decision because like she doesn't want to destroy the Earth because it has these valuable, wonderful creatures. She also doesn't want to move on to another planet because she wants to hang out with cats because she ends up with a cat that was abandoned. She becomes the new guardian of, and now she has to learn how to live with a cat that she like gets overwhelmed by how cute it is. Also, she does mark a building to be destroyed that was the previous owner of that cat that abandoned it because she's just like, how could you abandon something like this? What the fuck are you talking about? All her reactions are cute. The cats are well animated. This is a lovely little series. I will say this. In the best way possible, it is definitely super cute. In the best way possible, I will say that this is fan service for like animal lovers. And I should say that again. I'm going to pause here. I'm going to collect my thoughts. I'm going to ask you to not think too deeply about what I just said there. It is fan service for people that have pets or wish they could have pets. Because it is just in the best way possible, making it, yeah, just like totally just being like, hey, you know what's cool? Animals. Like, a cat is my roommate is a cat. My roommate is a cat presents itself like it's going to be one of those anime that is just like, hey, you know what's awesome? Cute animals. But it's not, because actually that's the story of loss and desperation and sadness and what's on the other side of that. So my roommate is a cat is not that. People say it's a comedy, and I'm like, no, it's not. There's levity in that drama. Uh, Doomsday with My Dog is a celebration of how animals are awesome. That is a joke manga that became a joke anime, a gag anime about how awesome certain pets are. After the apocalypse, and there's only one human left, and it's just an exploration of how great some dogs are. And sometimes some dogs aren't that great. That is that series. And this is one of those. I think that this should be a short. I think this should be an 11-minute show or a 10-minute show. The fact that it is full 22-minute episodes, I don't know if this can survive a season unless a bunch of other characters show up. I know that she has coworkers, and seeing their reactions to animals, and if like all of these coworker aliens are the same, or like people have different, like if one of them shows up and it's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't get it. I'm sorry. And then they like see a bird and they're like, wait, what's that? Or if they're like, if one of them turns out to be really into snakes and they're one of those kinds of folks, like that could be really fun. I don't know. I don't know where it goes. I could see myself like at episode like 6 being like, I'm good. I don't know if this like I don't think it's going to get some drama into it, but I think I might be good here. I don't know. I'm not saying I give up on it, but I am saying that I will give up on it, but I'm saying like, oh, okay. I just don't know. I don't know if it can contain or keep going. I think you should leave skit about the biker aliens that are amazed by all the various types of motorcycles on Earth. Yes. Yes. It is, Lord Crashton, honestly, yeah, it is kind of like that. All right, so we're done with our stickers here. We got our green back and head cameras. We got our red eyes behind the clear, which does look fucking cool. I'm gonna actually just pull it up to the camera more. We can't really see there. If I do like that, brighten up there. All right, we're gonna zoom in. We zoomed in a lot, everybody. I have to panel line this head, but look at that. Oh, what do we got here? Look at that. I actually think that looks dope. I think the red looks very cool. Behind the clear plastic. I think that's the only clear piece we have. I actually think that looks really neat. That is a fun color scheme. And on the back, can't even see that. Yeah, I got there. All right. A nice reflective, red. Yes, totally. And let's see. Yeah, that'll work. I think the silver would have been okay. I think the blue would have blended in too much. I had to leave for a bit, but the red is the color I saw most often when I Googled it. Thank you, Lashbrook. I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, the photo, the artist rendering on the Gundam wiki was red eyes. So I'm sure they're giving an explanation of like it's probably like, oh no, it's in blue eye mode or whatever. But the silver would have looked neat, but I think it would have blended too much, and the blue would have blended. So now we're gonna panel line it. I'm gonna hit some black on it. So again, that was 2Q Crisis. I have no idea if I'm gonna keep with it, but I'm giving it another episode. I'm doing another episode of Otaku Elf as well. I don't know if I want to watch another episode of MASHLE, Magic and Muscles. Raiden says, I have a sickness where I can't stop reading trash tier isekai. Please send help. Believe me, the fact that I am only watching the like middling isekai this season and not the real trash is a surprise. Like, I honestly think that before we get into MASHLE, I'll just say Aristocrat's Otherworldly Adventure is just completely fan service, like overpowered main character that's just going to always have ladies surrounding him, is completely strong and cool and good and like smart, and it's just such an easy watch, and it is an easy read as well. I got a cheat ability in a different world They cut a little bit. I assume they're going to jump back. They just wanted a good like end of the episode, but they cut out like some stuff. I'm wondering if they just like want to have like the girl show up who doesn't show up for a while. Um, are you looking for stuff that tries new things instead of relying on tropes? No, I mean like that's the thing with trash tier isekai. It's actually, I'll say this: the most intriguing of all of them is the worst one. The isekai about the guy that accidentally dies in a cult. He was raised in a cult and dies there, and he ends up on a world where there's no religion, and so he's psyched about that. But it turns out the state government is worse than having a religion, and the salvation of the people comes from him working hard to start a religion among the goddess that sent him there, and to get her stronger. And that's the most interesting isekai premise this season. But also, that manga fucking sucks, and I don't enjoy it. So I'm not going to watch the anime version of that manga, because I think that manga's bad. I should say, I got a cheat ability in a different world and became extraordinary in the real world. I've read the manga. I haven't read the light novel. They may have changed the order, and this is just adhering to the light novel. But the princess was not introduced in episode 1, who we saw in the manga, but maybe we won't see her till later. I don't know. And maybe they're just going to jump to the part where, because already he's in school, which is like chapter 5 of the manga. So they might have just decided we're not going to do anything about like the princess. We're going to save her, and we're going to focus on the real world with your cheat abilities instead of the back and forth, which would be a shame because there's a cool puppy in the fantasy world, and that puppy's great, and then that puppy can come to this world, and so you gotta introduce us to that puppy. If the anime does not introduce us to that puppy, then it fucked up. But yeah, the most interesting one is the one I'm not reading, and then the one that like is fine. I watched it today. It's Summoned, and I actually forget the full name of it. Summoned to Another World Again is a manga that I don't enjoy that much, and I gave up on. So I'll say this. The reason why I don't like it was based on a novel that had a light novel, and there's a manga is currently running. The reason why I don't like Summon to Another World Again is because it's doing a DBZ style fight. Currently, I think for like 15, maybe 20 chapters, is our main character fighting the big bad, and then being in a situation where he can't fight anymore, so everyone that we've met throughout the series has to fight the big bad. And then another thing happens, and it's like, this fight is going to take it, because it's monthly. So this fight is going to take 2 years. And the anime won't deal with that, because the anime, I don't even think we'll get to that guy, because it's been 8 volumes. Maybe we'll get to that guy, or maybe we're gonna go past the anime or the manga. But the manga is just fucking infuriating. So I might end up watching that anime, knowing that like the pacing will be better. Like if we get to that fight, it'll be 2 episodes at most, maybe 3, between all the different stages of it. But as a viewer of it, it's like, fuck off with this. But yeah, so I'm only watching, as far as Isekai right now, Season 2 of Kuma 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 Bear. Kuma 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 Bear Punch. Lovely. Season 2, even, hey, you said that you like watching, you like reading trash tier Isekai. Hey, Season 2 of In Another World with My Smartphone happened. They made a 2nd season of that bullshit. I couldn't remember where I left off in that manga and never went back to it. I'll wait for there to be a bunch of episodes, and then I'll just watch all the episodes at once. I don't think I'm going to watch it weekly. I'm watching those 2. Aristocrats, Otherworldly Adventure, Serving Gods Who Go Too Far, which is a very pleasant, easy isekai to watch, easy show. I'm going to start on Monday. I think it's either tomorrow or Monday. I don't remember which day. I am going to start why Ray Liana ended up at the Duke's Mansion, which I believe is a otome isekai. So it is I have been reborn or reincarnated inside of a dating game. One of those, which I like those. And then depending if you believe it or not, Otaku Elf and Too Cute Crisis, both of which I think are an isekai, but they are certainly not the overpowered main character style that some people really love. Although I don't think Raeliana or Rael. I'm gonna have to wait for characters in the anime to say it, but I think it's Raeliana. Why Raeliana ended up at the Duke's Mansion, which I have not read. I think there's a manga version. I believe this is based on the light novel, and I think there's a manga adaptation, but I have not read it. So I am interested to see if that's something that I want to check out. I got sidetracked, which is fine because that happens. MASHLE, Magic and Muscles. I said that I like this manga. I don't know if I'm going to watch the anime weekly, which is weird because I said I like the manga. And that's because I think the jokes work better on the page. I think the deadpan delivery of MASH, this lovable doof, this guy who's only focused on being strong, that doesn't understand, didn't understand the world around him and didn't understand what was going on there, that only wants to look out for his dad, who raised him, and doesn't understand that, hey, guess what? The reason why everyone can use magic isn't because the world is set in a way that everyone can use magic except for him. It's not an Asta situation from Black Clover, where he's the only one without the ability. Other people are born without the ability to use magic, and they are murdered. Ghostfell says, I kind of get the same impression. Yeah. So, there's a little bit of darkness there, obviously. The fact that if you don't have the ability to use magic, you are just removed. And so he's been hidden and raised by somebody in order to protect him. Which is, interesting, but also, what the fuck? Sorry, I gotta see how this goes in. Oh, it goes in like that. Okay. But I think the jokes don't land. I think Mob Psycho and One Punch Man did all of these jokes. Now, the premise of One Punch Man in a wizard school is good. And I think that I might be over the overreaction, the comedic screen freeze, deer in headlights reaction that people have to a wizard being like, hey, I just lost because you punched me in the face? That's impossible. I'm strong. You shouldn't be able to punch me in the face. It's one of those things where I'm like, yeah, get used to it, man. He's going to punch you in the face a lot more. What if Goku could only do a spirit bomb? I mean, it's what if everyone else could do a Kamehameha but Goku? But Goku is still the same strong, incredibly strong, very fast guy he is, except that everyone else can use magic, can use ki powers, and all he can do is punch real good. That's kind of the series, and I think I might just have seen enough of the... Why can't I find where 14 is? I need 14. I need D24. That's why I can't find it. I'm looking for the wrong thing. D24. Yeah, I might just be at the point now where I just don't like when I started reading MASHLE, I was like, oh yeah, that's fun. Oh yeah, that's kind of the like One Punch Man delivery of jokes and yeah, all right. Well, and they get to school fast enough, right? Because I was reading it at a fast pace. But this episode, I was like, I really hope I like the other characters. I like them in the manga. I hope I like the anime version of them because if I don't like the characters I'm about to meet, the some of the other students, but I know that I won't like some of those students because some of those students are there to fail against MASHLE and be assholes. So I'm going to meet assholes soon before I then meet cool people. The ending theme is real good. Last Rope, I don't disagree. I think the ending theme is good. And yeah, Ghost Valve, if they pick up the pace for it, I thought this first episode was really fucking slow. And I think one would hope that the entrance exam arc does pick up the pace. I don't know if it will. I don't know if it will. I hope it does because, like I said, I want to like it because I like the manga. It is rare for me to like a manga, and I have liked the anime adaptations of stuff that I didn't like the manga before. Because, you know, they're based on the light novel. Maybe the anime or the manga took a turn. Or like last season, the Magical Revolution of the reincarnated girl and I forget the full title. I like that a lot more because the light novel is fucking gay and the anime is fucking gay and the manga is not fucking gay. It might end up that way, but like the text became the hints of subtext, and then that was not the case by the time we got to the anime, which went past where the manga is, but maybe we'll get there. But I don't think so. I think the manga is just not gonna do that shit. So I've certainly liked in the past when I didn't like the manga, I've turned out to like the anime. But in this case, I'm like, I might just keep reading MASHLE and like not watch it. I don't know. So next week, I definitely am going to keep watching Yamada-kun because I think that's good. Otaku Elf and Too Cute Crisis each get another episode. MASHLE is a game time decision. I'm going to start watching episode 2. But if I feel like dipping, I'm going to dip. I'm going to dip out of there. And I might watch Summoned to Another World again. I might end up giving that a second shot because it just didn't sit with me. So I might go back to that because I do like watching isekai shows. So I don't know. But yeah, overall, that's my vibes there. MASHLE, kind of disappointed. Surprised at myself for being disappointed. And then, let's see. Get rid of all this. I don't need any of these. I don't need any of this text anymore. For Monday, I will be talking about Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witcher Mercury Season 2. The only Season 2 or Season 3 show that I will be talking about on a weekly basis. The Aristocrats' Otherworldly Adventure Serving the Gods Who Go Too Far, Episode 2. My Clueless First Friend, Episode 2. And Why Raeliana ended up at the Duke's Mansion, which will be Episode 1. I do not know now if I will be doing complete recaps or just reviews. Because some of these shows are Sundays. The problem is most of the stuff I was watching I had to watch today, so I ended up watching all 4 today because yesterday got away from me. I try to watch like as it air, once it airs or once it's up or the premiere times. I try to do that. I can't always do that. So in this case, I just watched what I could when I could. So I will have time tomorrow to watch Mobile Suit Gundam and I think the Aristocrats' Otherworldly Adventure, and then watch the other ones on Monday most likely. But I should have time to watch that, so that way I can do a full proper recap. We're gonna call it quits there, though, friends. Thanks everybody for hanging out. it felt like we were going to be really light tonight, but then y'all showed up, and I really appreciate that. I always appreciate that. If you can be here for an hour, if you can be here for 15 minutes, you can be here for the 2 hours. Love that so much. I hope that, speaking of which, you will hang out with me on Monday. We will do Manga Monday. I'll talk about that in the first hour. There will be some wrestling talk because I'll have watched a cool wrestling show. Oops, wrong one. We wanted to go to that. That's what I want to go to. We are going to end with a raid. That is how we end every stream. We're going to go find somebody doing some cool shit out there and go hang out with them. It's a Saturday night, so I don't know who we're going to hang out with. I don't stop by often, but always enjoy it. Well, thank you. Thanks for hanging out. And thank you for the resub. I really appreciate that. But yeah, of course, thanks to everybody for hanging out. Yeah, we're going to find somebody doing some cool shit here and go spend some time with them. This is going to be good. Arthur Geese is playing Meet Your Maker. Arthur, great dude. Meet Your Maker. A great video game to watch. Highly recommend checking that out. Eric Pope is working on that game. Eric is a dear friend of mine. This is not an endorsement of the game just because Eric works on it. But Meet Your Maker is a game that I really like watching people. This feels like it should be it should break. I don't know if it will, but this should break with like streamers. Jatsu, hey Jatsu says, I always knew I would meet my maker one day. This idea of like, what if the castle doctrine had the cool vibes and didn't have the shit attached to that? Aliens and weirdos and breaking in to steal resources from a base that a dungeon that someone created, and you can make your own dungeon. I think all of that rules, and I think that is a cool video game. It's a cool video game for cool people. So we're going to go hang out with Arthur as he bangs his head against the wall against that. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great night. Come along on the raid. Click that you're coming. If not, I'll see you on Monday for more model kit building and shenanigans. Have a good night, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.